everyone, and welcome to another episode of Standing 8. I'm Paul Fitzgerald. I'm joined by my co-host, three-time world champion, Boxing Hall of Famer Jeff Fennick.
Great to be here, guys.
And the voice of Australian boxing, Ben Damon.
Yeah, g'day, Paul. Good to see you up there alongside a very familiar face for everyone in Australian boxing and one of the stars of global boxing, really, in 2020 after his heroics in the bubble most recently on a top-ranked show. And now he steps into one of the toughest tasks in all of world boxing, taking on the world champion Naoya Inoue, but it's someone that Jason Maloney is very confident in beating. Jason, great to have you on the show, mate. And congratulations on taking this fight because no one else wants it, but you've wanted it for a long time.
1 second, without doubt, it's the toughest task. I had the unpleasantry of training a young Mexican world champion who I took to Japan to fight Inoue, and although it was a great fight, I seen that day and I said before the fight this could be one of the greatest fighters that we're going to see in the next decade. But for Jason to take this fight and to have the confidence you got, mate, I take my hat off to you. You're not like these other clowns out there that are calling people out every day. You and your brother just do your work. You work hard, and you're going to be rewarded. And hopefully, in a couple of weeks' time, you'll be rewarded with maybe being the best fighter in the world, pound for pound, because that's what I believe he is.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff and Ben and Paul for having me on the show today. Really been enjoying listening to the Standing 8 podcast, so it's good to join you. And mate, I'm extremely excited. As you said, it's an enormous task, but it's a task that I'm going to take with head on. I've wanted this fight for a while now. As you said, I don't call out people or anything like that. I just keep my head down, work hard, and try and be the best that I can be. And this is my massive, massive life-changing opportunity to go out there and shock the world and beat, one of the pound-for-pound best fighters in the world right now. And I believe I've got what it takes to do it, and here's my chance.
I don't want to give away any secrets, but like I said, I watched Inoue as an amateur. He lost against the Russian. And that day, watching him, I thought, wow, I've just seen maybe the best kid that will turn pro that I've ever seen. Then he fought by a Mexican. He won the world title. He's just got better and better every fight. What do you see? How are you going to go about trying to defeat this guy? What do you think, if there are any weaknesses, or what do you think you've got to do better than him? Because obviously, to win any fight, you've got to make him fight your fight. And that's not easy against this guy because he has so many different skill sets.
Well, that's exactly right. And I've got to make him fight my fight. And a lot of guys go in there and, it's credit to Inoue. He forces them to fight his fight, but they go in there and fall into his traps and just do exactly what he wants to do and, sit at his mid-range, and he just bangs them out with his explosive power. So there's more, there's a lot of things we're working on. Hard to go into exact details because obviously Inoue listens to this podcast, as we all do. But yeah, obviously you've got to get him to fight your fight, and there's certain things that I think are going to work on him. I'm the bigger man. I think I've got advantages out long and in close. So I'm just got to get him to fight my fight, and there's plenty of opportunities. I think he gets pretty reckless at times. I've got to take those opportunities. I've got to be accurate enough, sharp enough, and confident enough to pull the trigger when they're there.
Do you take a blueprint from what happened in his most recent fight with Nonito Donaire, who tested him more than really anyone has throughout his professional career? Did you see something in that fight that gives you further confidence?
Yeah. Donaire had some good success in that fight, but he didn't beat him. So it's not the blueprint that I want to follow because I'm going there to win. So he did catch him at those times, like I said, when Inoue comes in and he opens himself up. Obviously, he backs his power and he's going there and being extremely aggressive. So he leaves himself open at times. And Donaire caught him and he hurt him pretty bad in that fight. But he probably let him off the hook a little bit. And, to see a 37-year-old Donaire have so much success, it does give me confidence. I'm 29 in the peak of my career, and although I haven't achieved what Donaire has in my career yet, I believe that where I am at my career right now and only getting better and better, that I can really, really go in there and shake him up.
Yeah, as I was going to say, again, Donaire's another great. And I couldn't believe the performance that he pulled out at 37 years of age. It was just like he knew he had one last chance, and he'd give it his best. And that was maybe one of the best fights I've seen Donaire fight. Although he lost, he put up an amazing performance because his opponent was so great.
But as he said, it's the first time Inui's actually been hurt in that fight. I think he suffered a fractured eye socket from Donaire. So, hopefully that shakes him up a little bit and he comes out a little bit more tentative.
Yeah, definitely. Donaire hit him with some good shots and hurt him badly. I know he fractured his eye socket, as you said, and I knew he was in an interview saying he had double vision most of the fight and everything like that. But I also thought Donaire maybe let him off the hook. I mean, he had him visibly hurt, and Donaire maybe with his experience thought he'd take his time, but in doing that, sort of let him recover and get back into the fight. Whereas if I've got him hurt, obviously you got to use your brains, but I won't be letting him off the hook.
Yep.
This is a fight that you've wanted for quite some time, Jason. You've been very vocal about that. Was there a specific moment, a specific opponent that you saw Inui in against that gave you that confidence that he was right for you, or have you just always thought that his style suits you?
I think his style suits me, but it's more just I want to achieve something special in this sport. It's my dream and my goal to be the number one bantamweight in the world, undisputed, no questions asked. So for me to do that, the only way I can achieve that dream is to beat Inui. So that's why I want to fight him. It's not as if I think, look at this, I can see this massive hole that I'm going to exploit. I just want to go in there, test myself against the best and try and achieve something special in this sport.
It would be incredibly special. Jeff, where do you think this would rank alongside fights like Lionel Rose against Fighting Harada, which obviously has that Australia-Japanese angle as well? Daniel Geale and Felix Sturm probably is in that conversation as well. Jeff Harding against Enes Andres the first time around, and others, some other superstars for the history of Australian boxing.
For me, I look at this one, I think it would be the greatest win by an Australian ever, and I say that without any hesitation because I kind of believe that this kid, Inui's one of the best I've seen. He has amazing skill, and the power's not just to the head, it's to the body as well. He knows how to transfer it from low to high, so you've got to make sure that you're physically 1,000,000% ready. Mentally, you've got to be the same. So I honestly believe that if Jace can do this, it's gonna be up there with anything any Aussie's ever done. And like I said, I know we're talking, but these two brothers have already climbed that tree. They deserve all the credit they get. Like I said, I love when I talk about Australian boxing. I talk about them Lonnies because they're the guys that aren't loud and brash. They just go and do their job. And like I said, when I fought Jason, of course I just went out there and like I said, when it was fight time, I hated my opponent after it. Whether I won or lost, I was complimentary, and I just wanted to fight. I didn't need to say how good I was. I knew how good I was, and I just take that in the ring. Like I said, the secret to you being successful is, like I said, my opinion is maybe not giving him too much room and not letting him use his power and just being able to be there. And you've got to be there for the 12 rounds. This guy don't stop.
Yep. No, thanks, Jeff. And hearing you say that is exactly what excites me. It puts a smile on my face to think that I could achieve something so big in this sport and have one of the biggest wins for an Australian boxing for Australian boxer in our history. And that's why I take this fight. That's why I train so hard every day, and I've dedicated my life to this sport for 17 years, is to achieve something special like that.
Jason, I want people to know that are listening to this podcast, believe me when I say this, that this is as a bigger test of me and Nelson or me and anybody else I fought, or me for my third world title. For me, when I look at what you guys have achieved, what you've done, and how you just climbed that ladder and fought everybody that put in front of you guys, and then to step up and honestly, take this challenge on. It's an amazing show of confidence. It's a show of what you believe in, and for me, it's the real Aussie battler. And what I said, like I said, I just hope the whole of Australia that listen to this podcast, and not just the podcast, but throughout the next few weeks, get behind you and follow you totally, because they don't know what a hard job you've taken on. And like I said, wow, I wish I was over there with you guys, but like I said, I'll be cheering for you. And for me, if you win the fight, it's going to be one of the biggest upsets in boxing history. I'm not sure what the odds are. I don't even look at the odds, but I just know that what you've done is you've taken an amazing opportunity, but you've taken most of the hardest fight in boxing history, and I take my hat off to you, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it, mate. And I'm going to go out there and try and do something very special, and hopefully that'll inspire the next generation of fighters, and they can see that this can be done. We're not just guys that build up a good record over here and then go overseas and get blown out at the top level. We can beat these guys, and you just got to believe in yourself and take these opportunities. And
You've both already proved that. Listen, Jason, the thing I want to say is that this is what you got to know, and I love Angelo Hyder, and this is what you just got to know. As long as you know you've done everything you've done prior to getting there, and you go out and do your best, you're gonna be a winner irrespectively. But if you, Carl, can put those belts around your waist, man, it's gonna be, well, for me, it must be the best day in boxing history for me, because I just know what a mammoth task you've taken on, my friend.
Jason, do you get a little bit of an advantage? Do you see an advantage in the fact that you've been over there in the bubble before? You went over and fought very successfully, obviously, against Leonardo Baez, spent the time there in quarantine and went through the process that you're going to have to go through again, whereas Inoue hasn't been through that?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's a massive, massive factor in the fight, but at this level, all these little advantages, all the 1%ers add up. And yeah, I'm going over there, having been in the venue, having been in the bubble, having fought in front of no crowds, and I've experienced what he hasn't experienced. So I'm going in there with an advantage. So yeah, I mean, it's maybe not a massive factor, but as I said, they all add up, and it's definitely something that's giving me some sort of advantage over him.
And what is it like? Sorry, what is it like fighting in front of no crowd?
I guess it's different for everyone. I went in there expecting it to be quite strange. You heard people say, it sort of felt like a sparring session, but honestly, for me, it didn't feel like that at all. I walked out to the ring, even though there's no crowd cheering, I still had goosebumps and still had that feeling of, this is a massive occasion and it's time to turn it on, and this is fight night. So, and as soon as you get in there and you're in the ring and you're fighting, mate, it's on. It didn't feel any different than any other fight. Could hear my corner pretty clear, which is always good. And I didn't feel that different, but other people may find it different.
Sure.
As soon as you stay on, these guys try to knock you out. So whether anybody's cheering for you or not, this is like I said, it's such a big occasion. I mean, and to be able to do it under the bubble and to do what you guys have done, and just totally remarkable. And I hope more Australians get behind you and support you, and I hope you get more sponsorship, because this is a massive occasion for you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. I hope everyone does get behind me, and I'm doing this to do all of Australia proud. I want to put Australian boxing back on the map and give everyone something to be excited about, and everyone in Australian boxing, something to aspire to.
How difficult was it having that fight last time around? And obviously you managed to put it out of your head, but having seen what your brother went through in his loss and losing his version of the world title a couple of days earlier.
Yeah, it added a bit of extra pressure. I really felt like I needed to perform, but that's fine. I performed well under pressure, I believe, which I will need to in this fight as well. But yeah, I mean, I knew that after Andrew lost that fight, it was very heartbreaking, and perhaps people over there, the top ranked crew and, the guys that had just signed us up had thought, maybe these Maloneys aren't what we thought they were. So I really felt like I needed to put on a great performance, a really impressive win, and turn that around and show them that we are the real deal. And, I was happy with the performance. I still believe I can do a lot better, and I'm only getting better and better. And even since that fight, I feel like I've improved a lot. So this, to beat Inoue, I need to bring out a career best performance and make absolutely minimal mistakes. I'm aware of that, but I'm very confident that I can do it.
So what's your training been, Jace? What have you been doing?
We're not changing too much up, Jeff. As you know, I think we've got a good system the way we train. I still, I spar Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, and around that it's mainly just conditioning stuff, running and things like that. Like, I'm really not changing too much up, even though this is the biggest fight of my life and I want to win this more than anything. I think the worst thing I can do is try and train, 20, 30% harder, because I'm only going to overcook myself.
Still doing your two sessions?
Yeah, just the 2 sessions, mate. Yeah,
that's great to hear.
We've spoken about that off camera before, Jeff, and I believe exactly as you believe that those extra sessions that guys are doing these days in boxing doesn't help them. So yeah, we're not changing too much up. 2 sessions a day, training extremely hard as always, but I've entered every fight of my career in great shape and ready to go 12 rounds flat out. So I'm not going to start changing things too much and trying to train harder. I think that's only going to hinder me. So we're doing everything the same. I'll leave and I'll fly out to Vegas next week. So I'll have a good month in Vegas to adjust to the time zone, and we've got some good sparring lined up over in Vegas. So I'm doing absolutely everything right and giving myself the best chance possible to win this fight.
That's great, Jace.
Jace, the obvious opponent that both of you have fought is Emmanuel Rodriguez, someone who gave you a hard time, but you produced one of your career best performances against, losing a controversial split decision against him in the World Boxing Super Series. Inui then blasted him out. How much do you think you've improved since that Rodriguez fight?
Yeah, heaps, Ben. So I don't really take too much from that. It would have been interesting to see if Rodriguez didn't get caught flush early, how he would have gone in that fight. But obviously with a devastating puncher like Inui, you don't want to get caught flush, in the first or second round like he did. So it was hard to take much away from that. But like you said, my performance against Rodriguez, if I was to fight him now, I'd be confident that I could do the same as Inui did. I think I've improved that much since that fight. And, I'm not really going to take too much from that. Another opponent we've both fought was Kohei Kono, and we both stopped him in the 6th round. So, I think I can do what Inui's done, but now this is my opportunity to show that I'm at that level.
Jace, let me tell you, mate, don't worry about any of that. Just realise that styles make fights. And just think of this.
100%.
Roberto Duran fought Tommy Hearns, got knocked out cold. Hagler fought Hearns, he knocked Hearns out cold. Hagler fought Duran and went the distance, mate. Styles make fights, mate. And like you said, he got caught cold and clean. So don't worry what he does to anybody else, mate. Just concentrate what he has to do to you and what you have to do to him, because, like I said, stylistically, the smartest trainer I've ever spoke to was Emmanuel Stewart, and where he'll tell me, he said the only reason why he let Tommy Hearns have any of those fights were because of the money that he made, because he didn't think that he could beat Hagler, or the stylistically wasn't ready for that. But like I said, stylistically, mate, this guy's going to be right there in front of you. Know what you're in for, so just go out and, like I said, just do what you and your trainer and your team have worked on for the last couple of months, mate.
Yeah, 100% agree, mate. That's what makes boxing so great. That styles make fights, and just because he beat him doesn't mean this guy's going to beat that person. So I don't take much from that, but I think his style does suit me. So we'll wait and see.
What's it like working with Bob Arum in the Top Rank team? Obviously one of the biggest promoters in the world. What do they like to deal with?
Yeah, unbelievable. When we signed with them, obviously stoked and, dream come true to sign with such a powerhouse promotion company, but you always have those doubts that you might just be another fighter in the stable. But, mate, they treated me and Andrew last time we were out so well, and went above and beyond, made sure we had everything we needed. Every day they were touching base with us. Do you need anything? We needed a couple of things for the gym. Bang, they delivered. Looked after us so well, and obviously given both me and Andrew these massive opportunities. So couldn't be more grateful for what they've done for us, and this is the start of something special.
Yeah, with a great team, not just Bob, but Todd, his son's an amazing friend of mine, and they've been in boxing for longer than anybody I know, and they always look after their guys. So yeah, you'll be fine.
Absolutely.
What was the response like from Bob and from others in the US and through the American media as well after your performance? It was at a time when everyone was watching, and obviously you got a great response back here, but what about from the Americans?
Yeah, they were awesome, mate. We went into the Top Rank office before we flew back home and just touched base with Bob, and he was very excited, loved both of our fights, gave us both a little bonus and said, well done, boys, can't wait to have you back. And he said, Andrew, I'll get you the rematch, which obviously Andrew wanted, and said to me, who do you want? I said I want to be world champion, and here's my opportunity as well. So he's delivered on his word, and yeah, he's a great man, and very excited, and very happy with how we performed. So yeah, it's very, it was a great first impression.
Your brother might have lost, but there aren't too many fights like that at the moment in the world where two guys go out and fight, and that's the style of you and your brother, and that's why Australian boxing is so lucky to have you guys on board, because every time you step in the ring, you fight. And like I said, credit to you, credit to your team, credit to Angelo and your dad, who I speak to every now and then. But you're very, very blessed to have a great team around you, mate.
Yeah, I am. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it, mate.
Jason, so your brother does have a huge fight. His rematch that he wanted with Joshua Franco, it's a fight that, as Jeff just mentioned, was an absolute war the first time around. He didn't get the result there, but how has he been since then, and how do you think he'll go the second time?
Yeah, Andrew's improved heaps since that fight, and you never want to take a loss in your career. It's never anything that you want to happen, but it does force you to reevaluate, learn, and improve. And Andrew's improved stacks since that fight, and we're just stoked that he's got the opportunity to have the rematch. And I'm very, very confident that he'll win that world title back. And they're very close to announcing when that fight will be. So Andrew will fly out with me to Vegas, do the training camp with me, and we're hoping that he'll be in the ring fighting not too long after my fight. So we can both go away and come back in 8 weeks' time with 4 belts around our waist. So it'd be something very special for Australian boxing.
What's it like going on this journey with your brother?
Yeah, it's very special, mate. It's it's been a long road for us. It hasn't been easy, but we've just pushed each other every day, forced each other to keep improving, stay at it, keep working, and always believe that results would come. So here's our big opportunity now, and this is the chance for us to achieve something very special and do ourselves and our family very proud.
Definitely.
Jason, you had that loss against Emmanuel Rodriguez. It was a split decision, but still a losing result. You improved a lot after that and obviously had a renewed focus. Do you think that that's what Andrew will take out of his loss? And have you spoken with him about that?
Yeah, 100%. And even though I mentioned that in another conversation, that even though I haven't won a world title like Andrew has, I think the fact that I had that loss a bit early in my career maybe pushed me and forced me to make a few changes and improve a little bit in areas that maybe Andrew hadn't. So I think now Andrew has had that loss, that you're forced to make changes and you're forced to improve. And when I say that, it's not as if me and Andrew ever slacked off or didn't do things right, but it just makes you reevaluate, think, and maybe realise how much you want this and how much a loss hurts and how much you don't want that to happen again. And I've seen Andrew in the gym now, and me even just sparring him now, he's a different fighter. And I think that loss is really going to be beneficial in his career moving forward. And I think you're going to see a really, really good performance in this rematch.
You mentioned you're sparring there. You're sparring each other, obviously, but who else is in the camp at the moment?
Yeah, early me and Andrew do a few rounds together, but as we get closer to the fight, we like to bring in different guys. As I touched on, we've got some good sparring organised in Vegas when we land over there. But at the moment, we're just trying to work with the best that we can here in Australia. We've got Luke Boyd up here doing some sparring with us at the moment. We've got Sam Goodman that's come up a few times from Sydney to do some rounds with us as well. Vegas Larfield, Queensland, young talent who's got great potential. We're doing some sparring with him. Connor Quinn and Bruno as well, who trains with us. So we've got some great rounds here. A lot of different styles that all bring something different to the table, and give me something to work on. And then as I touched on, as soon as we get over there, great sparring to finish off the last month of camp, and I'll go in there, prepared for the best of Nui, and I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great in training, and I look forward to putting on the best performance of my career on the 31st of October.
Jeff mentioned before that he used to make himself hate his opponents before his fights. Naoya Nui doesn't seem like someone it would be particularly easy to hate. He's got sort of a boy band look about him. He seems quite a gentle sort of a bloke out of the ring. But what do you do to get yourself in that frame of mind where he is the ultimate enemy?
Yeah, well, he is. He's the enemy because he's the one man standing in the way of me achieving my wildest dreams. I'll have 3 belts around my waist. I'll be the number 1 bantamweight in the world, and I'll achieve. This fight will change my life. Winning this fight, so he's the one man standing in the way of me doing something very, very special in this sport. And yeah, it's not as if I
hate that guy then.
Hey mate, hey.
It shouldn't be hard to hate that guy then, brother. He's trying to knock you out, so it shouldn't be hard to hate him.
No, exactly. So it's not hard. It's not hard to hate him, and it's not hard to want to take him out more than anything. So I don't say hating. I don't say hating it in a terrible way. It's just
you're fighting somebody. Somebody's trying to knock you out. They're trying to deprive you of what they've got and what you want. So yeah, you've got to hate. And
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care if you don't hate and if you're not that kind of person. I don't think you can really have the success and the desire to be successful.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
by having that hatred there and knowing that this guy has got what you want, it's got to be some hatred there. It's going to make you hungrier.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, I've visualised knocking him out cold and how good that's going to feel, and just achieving all these dreams, and it just makes me so excited, and I just can't wait for it, mate.
You have met him before as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. At the Super Series draft gala, I got a photo with him and shook his hand, and even back then, I felt like we were destined to meet each other.
I remember you saying that at the time, that you saw him as a future opponent, and even then it was a fight you were extremely keen on.
Yeah, definitely. And, looking back, if I had have beat Rodriguez in 2018, well, I would have fought Inoue next. And, maybe everything does happen for a reason. Maybe I wasn't ready for Inoue 2 years ago, but I definitely feel like I'm...
extra fights, this new confidence you just got from your last fight, this is going to make you a better fighter. See, everything happens for a reason. And Jace, when you have a loss and you learn from it, like it showed you did, you worked hard. Not that you worked harder, but you went back and you try to think of what happened and what you done right and what you done wrong. This will make you a better fighter. And having that loss previous to this is going to make you a better fighter as well, mate.
Yeah, I believe that 100%. And yeah, I just feel like that everything has happened for a reason. And I was given 2 years to improve, 2 years to get stronger, 2 years to gain that extra confidence and to get that, world level experience. And now it's my time. I'm in the peak of my career, and here it is. I'll roll the dice, give this absolutely everything I've got, and I can't wait.
How's your profile tracking in the US these days? Have you got a read from the guys at Top Rank?
Nah, not too sure, mate. Not too sure. There's probably still a lot of people that don't know me, but they will after this one.
They certainly will.
Yeah, definitely.
Jason, November the 1st is your fight. We're waiting on confirmation of the dates on Andrew's fight, but probably a couple of weeks later. Hopefully we get to see those fights on Fox Sports or Main Event, still to be confirmed, but it does look like that will be the case. But, it's been an exciting period in Australian boxing, led by you blokes, of course, in the bubble the first time around. And then you would have been watching Tim Tszyu's performance against Jeff Horn as well. It seems that we have tremendous momentum in the sport at the moment.
Yeah, we have, mate, and it's very, very exciting. And, it was a great fight. And, just having everyone in the local public talking about boxing in Australia is amazing. That's all I want. I want us all to be successful. I want everyone to achieve what they're set out to achieve, and I want this sport to grow and be as big as it possibly can. And this, I'm
not sure if you know or you, Paul, but I just got a call, and Dean Lonergan has just signed Justice Huni to a huge long-term deal. And I mean, I think that's great for Australian boxing. I think that he's an amazing talent. I was just telling the story today, Jason, when I first seen Joya Potato, I thought, wow, God, look at the skill for this big guy, just amazing. And Justice is no different. I think that Australian boxing is going to be super, super strong very, very soon. And I think that you boys leading the way, and then we've got so many other kids, but I mean, you guys, Liam Wilson and Liam Paro, and now we've got Justice who's just turned pro. We've got Australian boxing is really strong at the moment.
And what about the fact, Jeff, that Justice Huni's making his professional boxing debut against the reigning Australian heavyweight champion, October the 22nd. That'll be live on Fox Sports. He takes on Django Opolu, who is the Australian heavyweight champion at the moment, a man on debut fighting against someone of that.
It's funny you say that, because I remember, Peel, my first pro fight, I fought a 10-rounder. Yeah. And they said, what, he's fighting 10 rounds? Because I've trained, done it all my life. And I said about Justice, he's so skilled, and don't waste time if you don't have to. And he has got the skill and the ability, and to do that. I'm not saying that our Australian heavyweights aren't great, but there's an opportunity. He doesn't need to go and fight 4 rounds when he can do this straight away. And I'm sure that he'll be successful. And again, another one that we've all got to remember his name and watch out for, because I think it won't be long before we see him fighting and doing something really special as well.
Jason, how did you're obviously on the verge of greatness, but how did you and your brother get into boxing?
Got into boxing just fighting in the lounge room, really. We had a set of boxing gloves at home. Don't even know who gave them to us. There was no boxing in the family. Dad never boxed, anything like that. And me and Andrew, just being competitive twins, would put a set of gloves on and just fight in the lounge room.
bash
I had
each
no
other.
idea what we were doing, but we.
Who used to win?
Yeah, I used to flog him.
Good idea, mate. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah, but no, yeah, and then at that stage, just doing it for a bit of fun. But we had dreams of being AFL players when we were 12 years old, and in the pre-season, we said let's go down to the local boxing gym. Seen a few of the other footy clubs doing some boxing for fitness, and thought this will give us a bit of an edge on the rest of the guys.
Yeah.
When we start next season, we'll be fit, jumping out of our skin, and have an edge on the rest of the competition. But we just fell in love with boxing, and we got to a point where we needed to make a decision. We were boxing and playing footy, and I actually lost my first 3 fights, and Andrew lost his first 7 fights, and we had to make a decision. Do we want to box or do we want to play footy? And at that stage, I think most people would have said, no, we'll stick to footy. We're not going too good at this boxing thing. But no, we said, nah, stuff this. Let's give away footy and let's give boxing everything we've got and train properly like a boxer needs to train.
I've never seen a 5'2" guy making it footy either, mate. Not too many anyway. So maybe he done the right thing.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
The guy beside you want to do the same.
Yeah, that's right.
Taking the water off for Parramatta is the orange man.
Yeah, exactly. They were good oranges, I'll tell you.
Paul, you might do a couple of rounds there with Jason this
Are
afternoon.
you saying he was going up there for?
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of
Yeah,
light.
so do you got the mouth guard and stuff with you, Paul?
Pardon?
Do you take the mouth guard and stuff up when you say when you do the Maloney boys?
Ready to go.
No, you forgot it at home. I've still got it. I kept it.
I'm ready to
I've
go.
kept you safe.
Enjoy that in the hot
I've got,
shit there at
I've
Kings
got an ambulance on standby.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
We might leave it there, I think.
Yeah,
Let
mate.
Jason get on with his day.
Jason, we just want to say get on with the day. So honoured to have you on my show, and I'm going to be even more honoured when you get out there and just do your best. And you do your best, I know it's going to be good enough for you, mate. You're not going to shock Australia. You're going to shock the world, and you're going to come home as maybe one of Australia's greatest ever fighters, Jim.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah,
Thanks
the very
so much,
best of luck
yeah.
to you, Jason, from everyone in Australian boxing, mate. Everyone will be watching, and we're all right behind you and your brother, mate.
100%.
Thanks heaps, guys. I really appreciate it. And yeah, hope to do you all proud. Can't wait.
Thanks, Jason. Don't forget to subscribe, Standing 8, YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify.